welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. So as you can see by the intro, today I decided that it might be fun to do a slasher cabin to keep up with the whole spooky season going on. As you saw yesterday, or you heard yesterday by my previous conversation about my spellcaster cabin, I'm not someone who necessarily plays with the occult all too much, so I thought in keeping up with the idea of the spooky season was actually creating stuff to do with it and something that I necessarily like. It would be kind of a cool idea if I create a slasher cabin because that's more of my playstyle. You can see even in the beginning, I had so much fun creating the cinematic intro for this one because it was just like I couldn't. It was literally really reminiscent of a horror. Well, I hope it was reminiscent of a horror film for you guys, but it was really reminiscent for me as a horror film. Actually, I'm not really that much big of a fan of horror film. I prefer thrillers, and I do like stuff with like a horror-esque theme to it, but not the entire thing is horror. And funnily enough, I actually don't even like slasher films either. They're just a bit too much for me, but I do love the entire concept and aesthetic that comes with it, of it just being this almost dated, trashy kind of Hollywood kind of types of films. Even sometimes when they're India, I think there's a certain charm to them. Like I remember before, a lot of people have been talking about how they want horror films to be recognized a bit more in award shows, and I think they should be. I think horror films are generally a important aspect within the film and the entertainment world. And weirdly enough, I rather create scary slash horror film like concepts rather than any other concept, but I can't for the life of me watch them. Maybe TV shows. I can delve into the realm of horror TV shows kind of, but that's as far as I can go. Horror films themselves, I mean, I had to, for one of my courses, had to watch a horror film, and yeah, you can imagine I was like at the edge of my seat the entire time, terrified of what's gonna come around the corner. And it's not necessarily the jump scares that scare me, it's the gore. Like it's just there's something. I've got this I don't want to say like I'm empathetic, but it's like I've got this way when I watch someone in pain, 9 times out of 10, my body, for whatever psychological reason, will try and mimic the pain on my actual body. So if I'm seeing someone, getting the arm chopped off, my body has this knack of trying to recreate that feeling on myself. And that's necessarily what I can't do when it comes to horror films, specifically slasher films. But in other films, I think I'm quite fine, really. I do quite well with horror films if they've got supernatural elements in them, because normally it's not too out there and there's a realm of this couldn't happen. So I can a bit more calmly watch them. And the supernatural ones, at most, people are just exploding or people are falling off buildings. So it's quite a big feeling that the body necessarily can't simulate because of it. But with other horror films, if I see that needle going in someone's eye, I just can't do it. I'm so sorry, but I can't do it. Even the little stuff, like I remember when I was watching Get Out. Get Out is fairly tame. Like it honestly is fairly tame. But even little things like, I don't know, the moment where he got, I don't know how much I can say on YouTube. I don't get monetization because obviously I don't have enough subscribers to get monetization. But even still, I don't want to get my account restricted. So let's just say there's this one particular scene in Get Out where some human organ is disposed, and even such a simple thing like that really got to me. Even in medical shows, when I see anything to do with gore or anything, it really just gets to me, compared to supernatural shows like, Vampire Diaries, okay, there was this one point in Teen Wolf where it really did get to me. It was the moment when Theo was in the hospital and he was getting chased by his sister. What's his sister's name? Tara, I think Tara. He was getting chased by his sister because when he was younger, he ripped out his sister's heart and she was trying to get it back because I think this was the moment when he was in hell before Liam took him out. And that scene, I remember I went to it. I was sitting with a rack of ribs and I was about to eat them and I saw the scene and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put these ribs away. I want to see what's going on. And those sudden moments, I just couldn't watch it because I just could not see what was occurring on screen. And I think Teen Wolf actually, amongst any like teen, like horror supernatural-esque shows, like specifically targeted to teens, I think Teen Wolf is kind of up there with them. Oh, some people may say Hannibal, stuff like that, but Hannibal is not necessarily targeted to teens that I'm aware of. And Vampire Diaries and the originals and all of that was quite tame. With Vampire Diaries and the originals, and most you saw someone's like heart being ripped out by 9 times out of 10 Klaus, and you saw all of stuff like that. It was quite, it wasn't as, I don't know, it just didn't feel as gory compared to Teen Wolf, because sometimes Teen Wolf had its moment. I think it's because in Vampire Diaries and the originals and all those shows, when the gore did occur, it was quite quick and it had other things that you can focus on. So for example, with any scene that Klaus did anything extremely gory, I think most of us were just kind of looking at Klaus and looking at him and just being like, whoa, look at that power, look at that strength. Like we will simultaneously focus on what was occurring in terms of the gore, but then we were also simultaneously focused on what Klaus was saying, what Klaus was doing, what Klaus looked like. There was like, oh, it's not just Klaus who would do a lot of things. Like there's Rebecca, when it was Catherine, when it was all these other people, we were really focused on them as well as what they were doing. Compared to Teen Wolf, it's like a hyper focus on what they're doing, because most of the time it's not necessarily the main characters that are doing the gory stuff. Like they do some gory stuff, but they're normally just quite plot heavy, so you can focus on the characters because you can focus on the characters solely because they're not normally doing anything quite gory. But with Teen Wolf, with Teen Wolf, that's what they do. The characters are normally just not doing that much gory stuff, so you focus on them fully. But when the gory stuff does occur, it's normally with either a smaller character or it's a character that you've never met before. Like, for instance, I can think of the one scene where the sheriff goes into the hospital because this one kid was being chased throughout the high school. We find out later that that kid is a Wendigo, and that kid was mid-feast on the sheriff that was stationed to take care of him. So with stuff like this, that makes you focus heavily in the goal because that's all that is presented to you. So yeah, that's in terms. But the funny thing is that I actually do like supernatural like shows and TV and stuff like that and films. Yeah, sorry, I was scared my mic was starting to glitch out. I normally record on my iPad and then put it onto my computer because for some reason it just doesn't work on my computer. But then I got this notification today and I was like, you know what, I'll let you dry for a second. But yeah, this was a really quick build because this was a really quick build because I decided to build it early this morning and I wasn't really thinking too much about it. It was really fun. I think it's one of the builds I'm more satisfied with. It's really, really pretty. Sorry, I completely disconnected my microphone. I've also just realized one, I'm breathing very heavily throughout the entirety of this recording. So I am so sorry that you are hearing every single intake of breath through that. I've also realized that I'm also talking extremely slowly. So I'm very sorry for that. But if you enjoy, again, I can hear myself breathing. What is wrong with me? I'm doing it again. I'm sorry. This is why I record on my iPad because it doesn't pick up all of these things. And technically, I can make it lower, but I've been talking for this and I'm also written at the time. So let me just do my intro. I hope you guys enjoyed this so much. I hope you found this interesting. Please let me know what your favorite part of this build was. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. The more the merrier. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.